The word struck me like a punch to the gut, stealing my breath. "You're going to be a father again," Sarah said, her voice soft, trembling with a joy I hadn't heard in years. Her hazel eyes sparkled beneath the dim light of the kitchen chandelier, but my smile froze jagged, wrong. "Funny," I rasped, voice hollow. "I haven't touched you in months." The air thickened, the hum of the refrigerator suddenly deafening. Her face stayed calm. Not a flinch, not a blink, just that serene smile, as if she hadn't heard me. But I saw it, a flicker in her eyes, a shadow crossing still water. We stood there, the oak table between us littered with takeout containers, soy sauce staining the napkins like blood. My pulse pounded, a drumbeat of doubt. She looked radiant, cheeks flushed, hands lightly resting on her stomach, as if cradling a secret I wasn't part of. I wanted to laugh, to dismiss it as some cruel joke, but the weight in my chest wouldn't allow it. "Sarah," I said, sharper now, "what's going on?" She tilted her head, auburn hair catching the light. "What do you mean, David?" "I'm pregnant. We're pregnant." The word we cut like a blade twisting inside me. I sank into my chair, the wood groaning beneath me. My mind raced, replaying months of distance, late nights at the office, sudden solo trips she called to clear her head, her phone always face down, buzzing with unexplained messages. I had chalked it up to stress, her new promotion, the grind. We'd weathered worse storms. Losing our first child, my layoff, her mother's illness. But this was a fault line splitting our life apart. "Sarah," I said again low, we haven't, the words died on my tongue. The accusation hung like a live wire sparking between us. She laughed. A brittle, nervous sound that didn't reach her eyes. "David, don't be ridiculous. You're tired. You're misremembering." She moved toward me, hand outstretched, but I flinched. Her fingers froze midair. The kitchen smelled of garlic and regret. The clock ticked above the sink like a countdown. I wanted to believe her. God, I did. I wanted to rewind just an hour, to when we were eating lo mein and laughing at Lily's latest obsession with dinosaurs. But her words, "you're misremembering," felt like gasoline on a fire. I wasn't misremembering. I knew every night we hadn't touched. Every morning she slipped out of bed before dawn. "Tell me the truth," I said, voice cracking like ice underfoot. Her smile faltered, just for a second, and I saw it. The shadow again deeper now, like a bruise spreading beneath calm waters. She turned away, busying herself with stacking plates. Too precise, too controlled. "There's nothing to tell," she said back to me. "I'm pregnant, David. Be happy. Please." The plea in her voice was real, but not for me. It was for the fragile life she was holding together, as delicate as spun glass. I stood, chair scraping the floor, and crossed to her. I didn't touch her, but stood close enough to feel her warmth, to smell lavender in her hair. "Who is he?" I whispered, voice raw, trembling. Her shoulders stiffened. For a moment she froze, too still, like a deer caught in headlights. Then her eyes widened, glistening. "How dare you?" she hissed, voice shaking, betraying her. "How dare you accuse me of something so vile?" The words were sharp, but crumbling at the edges. And I knew. The next days unraveled slowly, each moment heavy with unspoken questions. I watched her like a detective, hating myself for it. The way she lingered over her phone, thumb hesitating before swiping notifications. How she avoided my gaze at breakfast, stirring her coffee for too long. I found myself digging, checking her car's GPS history, scrolling her emails when she left her laptop open. Each clue small, deniable. A vague text from Mark at work about meeting later, a coffee shop receipt she'd never mentioned. I told myself I was paranoid, but trust is a house of cards, and hers was collapsing. Lily became my anchor. Her giggles were a lifeline. At 6, all questions and wonder, oblivious to the storm around us. One night, tucking her in, she clutched her stuffed triceratops. "Why is Mommy sad?" she asked. My heart lurched. I brushed her curls back, forcing a smile. "Mommy's just tired, sweetheart." I lied, the word bitter. But Lily's question stayed with me. Sarah was sad. Not guilty, not defensive, but sad. And that scared me more than anything. The truth hit on a Thursday. Rain hammered the windows. Relentless, Sarah was late again. Her excuse about a client meeting thin as tissue. I waited in the living room, TV muted, shadows dancing like ghosts. When she walked in, soaked and pale, I didn't ask where she'd been. I handed her the phone bill I'd found, hidden in her desk drawer. Calls to the same number every night for weeks. Who's Mark? I asked, voice steady despite the quake in my chest. She froze, coat dripping on hardwood. For a moment, I thought she'd lie. But then her face crumpled, and she sank onto the couch, hands covering her eyes. It's not what you think, she whispered. But her words were hollow. She told me about Mark, her colleague, her confidant during late nights at the firm. Emotional, she swore, not physical. She'd been lonely, lost. I'd been distant too. But the pregnancy? She couldn't fully explain it. A night she couldn't remember clearly. Work event, too much wine. Her tears were real, but they didn't reach me. I was drowning in anger, grief, betrayal. I wanted to scream, to break something. But I stood there numb. Why didn't you tell me you were unhappy? I asked, barely audible over the rain. Her eyes were raw. Because I didn't want to lose you. The irony burned. She'd lost me anyway. Not because of Mark, but because of the lies she let fester, the child that wasn't mine. The twist came later, after days of silence. She showed me the ultrasound. The dates didn't add up, not with Mark, not with anyone. She'd been pregnant longer than admitted, from a time when we were still us, before the distance grew. A lab mix-up, she said, voice desperate. But doubt lingered, a poison I couldn't expel. I looked at her, the woman I'd loved for a decade, and saw a stranger. Whether it was infidelity or a cruel trick of fate, it didn't matter. Trust was gone, and with it, the life we had built.